I'm gonna tell y'all boys right now, you get you a woman that know how to listen to you. You get you a woman that know how to listen without getting offended by what you're saying. You get you a woman that knows how to listen to exactly what you're saying and process her anger appropriately. Because the wrong woman, she gonna hold you back. She gonna set you back from endeavors that you have. You gonna have plans and she gonna do the exact opposite. You gonna be giving instructions. She gonna do the exact opposite. And you know what that's gonna cause? Y'all not working together. She's working against you. Trust me, stay away from them women that are actively working. Those women who are actively working against you, stay away from them. You say go left, she go right. You say go right, she go left. You could explain things to her without even cursing or raising your voice. She ain't gonna hear nothing you saying because how she feel about what you said, no matter how you say it. You know, the people, oh, it ain't what you say, it's how you say it. And then you say it calm and respectful and she still can't control herself. But I'm telling you, she will thwart your purpose and your plan. She will slow you down.
What is your take from the video? We're gonna start with your take, and I'm gonna then throw some things here and back around it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of different takes that we have. You know, we have the on the surface take, but then we have the meta take underneath it. You know, we'll talk about the on the surface take. On the surface take, he's definitely 100% correct.
Yeah.
You know, his delivery is for men. Women watching it, and especially in our feminized world, they're not gonna like what he has to say, right? But on the surface and logically, he's 100% correct. So that's the surface. That's the surface level. Absolutely. You know, it's extremely important that you have a woman who's excellent at communication and emotional regulation, because what men are famously known for is ego, right? The ego, right? But what are women famously known for?
Emotion.
Yeah, being out of control with their emotions.
Lack of control with the emotions. That's a fact.
Right. So just as much as we want to be men who are super in control of our ego, we want to find a woman who's very much in control of her emotions, and that goes beyond just the communication that he was speaking about.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. See, me, I always say on this channel, I'm like, there's no formula for this shit, right? It's very, for me, it's this, the formula that I go by is very simple. First rule of reality, I always say this: when you were born into this world, there's certain rules that we can't do shit about. It's first rule of reality: nothing lasts forever. Second rule of reality: you don't know how long you have it. There's no expiration date written on anything, right? So meaning, as you came in, you know how there's this saying of, you know, a woman, they tell a woman, do like, or even a guy, if you date like this, do like this, check all these boxes, you're gonna find a partner that's gonna last forever. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's never worked. It didn't work back in whatever time. It didn't work in our parents' time. It ain't gonna work now. It's just, there's no rule for this whole thing. Heartbreak and disappointment is the order of the day for reality, right? You shouldn't base your anything based on your external external stimulus, right? So let's say, for example, you set a goal, whatever the goal is. We're talking dating right now. You're looking for a partner. All you simply have to do is find somebody that mutually it flows, right? You don't know how long it's going to keep flowing for. You don't know how long, whatever. It's the whole idea is you pick somebody that you being yourself and them being themselves. It's natural. It's smooth. Once that friction begins and there's no way to really work around it, me personally, I say let it go and move. Something else will come. But now in the world we have, they always tell you, oh, just jumping from one partner to another, no matter how long, you know, you should be looking for somebody for your forever person, right? So when bro was talking about all that, I got what he's saying, but for me, ultimately, it's still what I'm saying. And pick a partner that just matches you. Like it should just be someone that you're not having to prove yourself to. You're not having to do none of that. It just as it came, so would it leave. So if you put all that effort to work on it to come in, you can also put all that effort for it to leave you. There's no, I just don't believe in that's a formula. But if you just be with somebody that is just smooth, if it's just smooth, the key for me is if it's smooth. If it's not smooth, if you have to qualify, quantify, blah, 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 there's no point, because I always say it's 50-50 regardless. Whether you do all those things, it can still leave you the next day, whatever it is. If you don't do all that stuff, it could still leave you the next day. So there's no exact formula. The true formula is your happiness. How are you happy? Are you not? You know what I'm saying? That's my whole take from the whole thing. So I agree with bruh, but I also think we shouldn't be trying to do stuff to keep somebody, trying to do stuff to quantify. Bro, just be natural. Just let it flow. Basically, just let it flow. You know what I mean? That's my whole take on the thing. You know what I mean?
No, I love that. And I could almost agree with everything. I would just like to add a few things. First off, bro, heartbreak and disappointment, while that may be true, that it's the order of the day, but it's not going to be the order of the day for our listeners.
Hey, there we go. That might open some prophetic words to y'all.
Yeah. And for you and for your channel is what I'm saying. We listening to your channel because we're learning about empathy, right? And what you're talking about with being smooth. Now, one thing I'll add is, we don't want to necessarily add extra turmoil and extra friction, right? And challenge your relationship. But what I want to say is, I really challenge you. I don't really believe that you're going to just break up a relationship at the first sign of friction, right? I don't believe that. I believe what you really are saying is just that if it's not working, and it's not working for this person, and you just keep trying to make it work, let it go. But at the first time of something not working, that's what the video is talking about. That you want a woman who is fully committed to having excellent communication, seeing things from your point of view, i.e., empathy, right, and being a great listener. Now, the video is already supposing that the man already is in control of his ego, already has good empathy, and is good communicator, and himself is also a good listener, right? So when you have two people who are like that, when there's a little friction, they pause. They don't just keep doing this. They go like this, and then they think, what happened? What happened? They open up, they talk, they come together, and then there's harmony again.
Yeah.
So I'll wrap that up by saying, right, I'll wrap that up by saying this. I do have something else to add to it, but I'll add to it. This reminds me of Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Okay.
The fifth habit is first seek to understand, then be understood. So I'll say that again. First seek to understand, then be understood. So as per that video, make sure that if you're dealing with a woman who is like this and not listening, before you keep on trying to make sure that she's listening to you, first seek to understand her feelings.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Because just how men have an issue with controlling their ego, women have, I would even say, being empathic to women have an even harder issue controlling their emotions.
Nah, I agree with that. What you're saying reminds me of another saying I have. I say, it's not my saying though. It's been here. When you point one finger, the rest is pointing at you. So before when I react on here, I always tell them, bro, everything I'm reacting to is my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? And if someone decides to react negatively at me, I'm not going to get mad because, I'm reacting to somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with that. And also, like what you were saying, I definitely don't think at the first sign of turmoil they should split. That's
right.
Because there was a reason at the beginning why it was smooth. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta first, of course, check yourselves. Look, is the issue coming from me, right? And if it's not coming from me, then what has changed? It's for sure. I feel like there has to be that kind of, because people are evolving every single second, every single day. The person you are today is not the person you are tomorrow. That's information, stimulus. A lot of things have happened into your next day. So it's like there are things for sure you need to ask yourself, like, okay, what's going on here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Issue for me, even if it's from them, is there something that we can work on? Like they say compromise, right? People say compromise a lot in relationships. Compromise. But what they understand by compromise is sacrificing yourself for the other person's pleasure. That's not true compromise, right?
No.
True compromise is meeting in the middle, right? Like you were saying, right? So I think, I definitely agree with that. Try to make it work, or just just talk about it. Communication is the key thing. Understanding is, I always say on this channel, right? Empathy doesn't mean that you have to accept the person's issue, but if you understand where the other person is coming from, maybe y'all can understand. Maybe you can agree. Maybe you can, but understanding would yield respect. one way or another. You know what I'm saying? You can find out if, okay, maybe it's going to work, maybe it's not going to work. But without communication and honest communication, not just, yes, you said, not from a point of ego, not from a point of emotion, but you can say from a point of logic. Look, break it down. Okay, what happened? Okay, all right. So this is where it changed. Okay, what can we do? What should we do? You know what I'm saying? Does that make you feel not like yourself? Does this make me feel not like myself? Okay. What you just have that communicate. My whole thing is honest communication.
Almighty push. Wasn't supposed to be doing it. They were bigger outside of what they did than what they did. You know, I'm a great rapper, but you forgot about that right now because I'm doing so many other things. So that's what I want to be known for, all of the great things that I do outside of it.